you are a community club. DCFC is a community-built club. And it will always
team is pitching a plan to revitalize a historic gem in our community, and it's a project that's driven by their passion for their sport.
State of disrepair right now. Concrete sort of crumbling a little bit. The bleachers.
Football club. We're at Keywood Stadium. This stadium was built in 1936. Simply put,
it's amazing to see just how far they have come. Years ago, they were playing over at Gas Tech, and now so many people.
The post and Stephon St. Louis is there to clear it.
Yeah, in the background, you know, they give us the 12th man. You know, it's awesome.
Games, fans to watch. We're happy to put on a show for all these guys that came out to see us play.
When we move, they move, and just communication is the biggest part.
It was great. I think we could have earned a shutout earlier against Sparta in the year.
Awesome. You know, the atmosphere is amazing.
Monday with the right foot. It's in the back of the net.
People know us now. People know what to expect. Now we gotta take it to another level.
Look, city till I die. Say hi to the bad fella. Hella smooth with the flow, so grab your umbrella. Yeah, we make it rain, bring the pain. Things are changing. Power rankings take a spanking, got them rearranging. They said Denis are all stars till we deboed all y'all. Ball of fist and brawl y'all. Yeah, we pissed off all y'all, and we thin but still winning. Grinning at the top, got up under head spinning, make that chin pop. Blue collar clocking in. They been mocking us for days till they step into the key, and they been leaving with a fade. Doubting us, but then they swayed. Say we pout, they throwing shade. You will never have what we have, time to get the blade. Cause we'll be cutting them up, yeah, we're shutting them up. We ain't bluffing, tell you something, better knuckle up. Y'all ain't nothing but chumps, we put in overtime. We'll be putting in work until it's closing time. City till I die, talking blood, sweat, and tears. City till I die, we've been building this for years. City till I die.
Everybody jumps in. Garrett here, time of recording is just about 9 o'clock on Tuesday, losing my train of thought, August the 27th. So yeah, almost done in here. Looks like we got Alan getting ready to connect right now to thing there. There he goes. So I know we said hi. I think we saw the group chat. Jaime said he was coming down in a minute. Well, down for him. Uno momento. Nothing from the NISA financial analyst. Probably had hard at work, especially with George's post about being canceled over the weekend for Georgia Stars.
Poor guy.
Yeah. I think Dennis was today the day for Dennis, or no? I forget.
I thought that was the plan, but you never know.
Yeah, Adam.
The living is free and easy in Chicago. Well, not free. Yeah. It's very expensive, actually.
And probably not easy, but let's not distort. We don't need to distort his reality. He can do it. He can do it himself. Last we heard from Adam about a few hours ago, he lost power. I don't know how bad it was by you, Alan, but I was driving home late 5 o'clock, early 6 o'clock, and I was seeing this dark thing on here. Yeah, man, it was wild to say the least.
Yeah, I was at the owners' meeting, and we all started looking out the window, and it looked pretty stormy out there. So it was, but it's not so bad now. So it's just rainy. I hope Adam gets his power back soon, because it is really hot outside, or it was earlier. So it's not so bad now.
Yeah. I think I left work, and I was just shocked as of. So this is somebody here. I think this is Jaime, I would think. It's a tunnel. I would propose it's being a tunnel. It says DCFC SM team, so it sounds like...
oh my God. Whoever... If it's Denis, he's lost in the tunnel. Can't find us.
Oh,
there he is.
God.
Hey.
That stands for
What up?
DCFC Sado Masochist team, because that's how it feels watching DCFC right now.
Yeah, right. Very appropriate.
I was just gonna say, this is a monumental occasion because I think the last time you popped on here, Red was still a member of the 451 crew. So
no, I think I was
back
on
in the olden days.
I was on that.
Yeah, I think DCFC hadn't lost yet the last time you were on in the regular season.
Actually, that might be a better bet.
That was before Pittsburgh. Oh man! So
Goodness. Wow.
Do we want to talk about the main topic today before Jaime gets on, or do we want to wait till Jaime gets on? That I know the three of you are incredibly excited about. Not talking Detroit City stuff.
Well, this is a soccer podcast, right?
Yeah, but the big news today also are people diehard soccer nutters that could probably throw down, especially crushing pints in their lifetimes. We'll wait till Jaime gets on.
Who wouldn't be thrilled with Kansas City, Sporting Kansas City versus Indy 11
in a rain delay.
U.S. Open Cup semifinal, which has been delayed. Yeah, I mean,
and apparently,
yeah, we could talk about that.
TV.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I think Otavio runs the Cup.us Twitter account or is part of it.
He's one of the people. Yeah.
So I feel for that media team that they've been having to reply to everybody. I think
there's a game. There's a game.
It's on Apple TV. It's free. It's like, yeah, I don't watch it.
The thing about that is it's obviously not advertised well enough, like everything on Apple. Otherwise, people would know this.
They don't care.
So, I don't know why that dude, who does great work in every other aspect of the cup, is carrying so much water for Apple TV. Like, Apple TV is notoriously bad at advertising their stuff. Like, nobody knows what TV shows are on. And every so often you'll see on Twitter, I just found this show on Apple that everybody should be watching. Why aren't they? You cannot convince me Apple TV isn't some fucking money laundering scheme for Apple, because they just don't advertise anything. Except Ted Lasso.
The tax write-offs.
Ted Lasso's the only thing that gets any sort of news or coverage.
Oh yeah,
not good at advertising anything. That sounds like something we know that's right around here that we kind of also talk about.
DCFC took their cues from Apple TV.
Yep. Okay, Jaime's here. The hair's kind of going in there. The three of you have fucking been geeking about this since the goddamn weekend. So congratulations to all three of you on the Oasis news. Jaime, are you going to be having a Gallagher's 1990 style haircut by the winter, beginning of spring?
Yeah, that's too much hype, bro. You got to get that down.
Yeah, I do have some. I would have thought maybe 2005, 2006. I was kind of in that space, hair space. I'll have to see if I can dig up a picture. I should ask. I should ask Red to go back and find some old pictures on my Facebook. He seems pretty good at that, or he used to be pretty good at that. I don't know if he still does that anymore, but
yeah, but that would mean we'd have to ask him to come back for stuff. Do we really want that?
Wow, don't be rude. I'm sure he still listens.
I was going to say, it's an open door policy for the founder.
The gloves are off now.
Anyone can make it black.
I'm actually incredible.
Show up.
Okay.
This is the last time Oasis played in Ireland, which was a month before they broke up.
Damn.
For whatever it was, the third or fourth time.
Yeah.
the one that seemed to be permanent.
I just got Johnny Marr's guitars book a couple weeks ago, and I love how Johnny Marr's going through all of his guitars. It involves gave one of these to Noel Gallagher, and then Noel Gallagher got into a fight at a gig in Newcastle and I was busted. So
I remember that story.
It was like this 1960 Les Paul Standard. So in case you know, that's fucking expensive, insane expensive now, but back then expensive now. So he's like, I got to find something a good enough substitute. So he gives him a 1972 Les Paul Custom. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah. But exciting days for all except Jam Jam. But maybe we're saying maybe on that. Alan,
she's definitely joining me in a chorus of Wonderball.
I think she
Don't
only
look back in anger.
I think she only truly hates one song by Oasis, and it's because they played it at Fresh Time pretty routinely at like 6:10 a.m. in the morning. Like it's just not what you want to hear before you've even finished your first fucking coffee, you know? Like I'm as big an Oasis fan as they come. They were my first ever gig that my dad took me to when I was like 10, and it was actually a night that
oh my god.
It was a night in Dublin that Liam came down with laryngitis, so Noel sang the whole concert, and I thought it was so cool that like I was getting to see Noel actually sing a concert. Oh my god! And then Liam came out for the encore and did his best Bez impression and just danced around with the tambourine. Like it was, the vibes were immaculate. It was in an
that was your first concert.
Yeah, that was my first one. Either that or I can't remember which came first, but Michael Jackson was my other one, the History Tour.
Oh wow!
Oasis or Michael Jackson. I can't.
That one actually. That one actually might have come first because on that one I was on my dad's shoulders for like 2.5 hours. Like my dad is not a cripple in this day and age, and I have no idea how because like I was too heavy to be on his shoulders. But that one was a standing gig. Oasis, I was like up in the seats, up in the rafters in this old venue called the Point Depot, which was like fucking falling apart by the time they took it down. But I did also see Kanye West there like 8 or 9 years later.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's
lots of history.
A good storied venue. Now it's a pretty good venue now too.
But you were saying for someone that you love Oasis, Wonderwall at 6:10 in the morning is probably not
Wonderwall. It's just a step too far. I sang Wonderwall on a talent show at a holiday camp too when I was young. Like so, it's been my song. You know, like I've taken ownership of that song at points. 6:10 in the morning before like Wonderwall is a 2 a.m. in someone's kitchen after the bar closes kind of song. I think.
Yeah.
There's much better Oasis songs that maybe wouldn't get as much play, I guess, on grocery store radio.
I heard.
I'll be happy to belt out whatever the fuck they want to sing if I manage to get my hands on tickets for Dublin at another storied venue. But we'll get into that another day because you know I don't want to be bashing the English today. Because
I saw something on Twitter. I almost sent it to y'all or dropped it in one of our Discord groups. It was Oasis getting Ireland before Great Britain might be the most British ever in Croke Park since 1920.
Yeah, that's what we don't want to get into. It's the 1920 of it all. So funny story, right?
Don't mention the war.
Now we're down the rabbit hole.
I'll finish my Oasis story on this, right? There's in the last 15 years, there's been a big rivalry in Gaelic football between Dublin and Mayo. Not every year, but like Mayo are real also-rans in Gaelic football. They haven't won an All-Ireland, which is the equivalent of the Super Bowl since like the 50s or something. Like it's some stupid amount of time, but they've been to 10 of them, and they just keep losing. And it's apparently based on some curse that was put on them. The last time they won, they were driving back to Mayo and they didn't stop for some funeral to go past them or something. And apparently some priest fucking cursed them and said they'll never win another All-Ireland until everybody on that team is dead. And there's, I think, one of them left now. But anyway, Mayo for the last 15, 20 years have regularly made it to the All-Ireland final, which gets played in Croke Park. And every time they lose. And the All-Ireland final used to be in like August or September, and the Gallaghers, as many might guess if they don't actually know, their mom is Irish, and they're from Mayo. So a lot of the Irish tweets that were going around today were Oasis are going to make it to August in Croke Park before Mayo. So that was Garrett, you just tapped into a very niche Irish Twitter joke there. But yeah, we're happy to have our Irish-British overlords come back and take over the city for 2 nights.
Hell yeah!
So now, so crazy. All those venues, all those evenings, all those gigs are going to be absolutely mental.
Alan, have you seen them live?
I have not. I've seen each of them separately.
Yeah.
After, but Yeah, I mean, this is like, you know, this is something people talk about all the time, and it's just never going to happen. And I still thought that this was like fake out, but it is happening. It's going to be huge, and there's a rumor of North American dates, which, I mean, I'm just surprised they're doing as many nights in the UK and Ireland as they're doing. And if they're going to do a whole nother like North American tour, that's just even more mental. So I'm pretty happy.
That's the thing.
They're going to make so much money. They're going to
less likely they are to make it here.
1,000 accountants to count it all.
I feel like this is.
Did you hear the reason why they're reuniting?
I've heard a few, but like I'll take whatever you've got too.
Well, apparently, Noel's divorce cost him 20 million pounds.
Oh yeah,
a little skint.
I saw some of my Michigan friends in the group today were fucking sending this morning about the announcement like it was news to me, like I haven't known for 2 days. And like my
thought been sitting there since last weekend.
My thought process on it being about money is that like they must make so much money from like Spotify and all the streaming services every year. I know like they pay fuck all, but like I worked it out. I have a friend in Ireland, or a guy I went to school with, who's had like 1 billion streams on Spotify, and I worked out how much that would be for him, and it's like it's good money, and they have, I would assume, a lot more than he does. His
Oasis albums are still charting. It's like 45 on the top 100.
Yeah, so like
it's like they've got to have a lot of royalties.
Yeah, I don't see that this is a money thing. I think it's just Liam realizing like he can capture that mid-90s fucking glory again, because like
they're not getting any younger.
He always seemed like he loved the actual performance of it all, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, like you could ask 1,000 Oasis fans, like, would they prefer to go to an Oasis gig or a High Flying Birds or Liam Gallagher gig? Like, how many of them are going to say one of the boys on their own? Like, probably zero. Like, that's a close to zero.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I think
it's just people have been crying for this to happen, and now that it's happening, it's just people are like, can't believe
the
it.
fact that it actually happened, I think, is the wild thing.
Well, the 3 reasons I've heard why it's happening, not the divorce, is that one is Matty Healy from the 1975 throwing shade at them and saying like, why wouldn't they just get back together, like, and that
saw that today,
that they're doing it to spite him. The other is that Jaime's nemesis Pep Guardiola sat them down and banged their heads together, which if he did that, I'm gonna have to stop calling him the bald fraud, I guess.
I'm gonna have to rethink my entire worldview if that is credible.
Jaime
was yelling at them in Catalan, and they didn't know what he was saying. He just like, yeah, Pep, yeah, all right, yeah, we're in it.
So just in case you're curious, Dennis, Wonderwall by itself has 2 billion streams.
Yeah, it's crazy
on Spotify.
Yeah, and like
Wonderwall,
I think you get like 0.015 of a cent per stream, right? So
like that. That's still a lot of money.
This is really good. Podcasting. That's 15 million on its own. Just that one song.
Just that one song.
And that's not including like the re-releases and like they're always they're re-releasing a record this fucking Friday. Anyway, the third reason I heard, and you're gonna have to Google this one, is there used to be this game show or this like Saturday night kind of entertainment show in England on the BBC called Noel's Funhouse, and there was this fucking character on it that came out in a big pink and yellow polka dot suit, and he was the most annoying fucking thing on TV, like trash. Like you can Google images of him, and anyone listening, and you'll see like he even he's like a pre-gritty.
Oh my god!
There was a video doing the rounds of him last weekend or 2 weekends ago, playing Wonderwall on stage at some like kids stage at an event.
Oh, I saw this. I saw that.
Yeah.
YouTube.
And so they're also saying that could be a reason that Oasis
they were just so incensed.
They've become so
their legacy was besmirched.
Yeah. They've become so uncool now. They have to come back and remind. They're gonna get back out in these streets and remind the kids who they are.
This is a good Oasis football transition to get back in there. Footy headlines, I think they saw the Oasis post of 8/27/24. And Man City, Alan, you probably know this, has a fourth kit coming out this year. And the colors and the design of it is based off of the album cover for Definitely Maybe. And Footy headlines in their leaked article thought that the fucking 8/27/24 was about the kit. Which they're like, it was not about the kit.
Was definitely one of the concerns that maybe it was just some absolutely minor thing.
So Manchester City was like, yo, guys, can you just get back fucking together? This is part of this thing here. Maybe we'll get some sympathy so we don't get all 115 charges. Who knows? But yeah,
but
it's fun.
Not playing at the Etihad. And I thought about, why are they not doing that? They're playing in Heaton Park. And I realized that looking at the dates, it's too close to the season starting.
I think I saw someone say that it's to beat the Stone Roses record of people at Heaton Park.
Well, I was just about to say, wasn't Stone Roses' first gig?
That sounds perfectly logical to me.
And that's why they're playing so many nights.
Yeah, because they play Heaton Park on their reunion tour, right?
I think that was their first gig, or Wembley when they got back together.
Yeah, so are the Stone Roses a United band? This would track, honestly.
Yeah, they are actually.
I think the Gallagher brothers are fucking spiteful enough to make this a reason to play Heaton Park.
I know Manny, the bass player from Stone Roses, is Manchester United, so.
Yeah.
So Ian Brown and Manny are
it's all becoming clear now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just pure spite. Liam has infected Noel with the spite disease, and they're just doing it. We don't even know who the rest of the band are going to be. Is the hilarious thing.
I heard they're just going to use Noel's band.
Oh yeah.
They use High Flying Birds, so
Yeah,
it's not truly an Oasis reunion. It's a Gallagher Brothers reunion.
Yeah, I saw them or one of them liking all the posts on Instagram yesterday. So I was wondering if they were.
Who knows? I mean, it's like.
Just give me Johnny Marr's solo band opening for them, and I'd be like, oh my god, I'd be fucking down for that all day. But I'm already seeing Johnny Marr and James at Masonic in October, so I'm fucking pumped. So we got the football connection here, and we already talked about Don't Look Back in Anger because we get to look forward to anger.
In anger.
So last time we talked after Birmingham, the 1-0 win on Friday, August 16th. So we recorded either Monday, I forget what fucking day we did it last week, Monday or Tuesday, before Tampa Bay on Wednesday, August the 21st. A game that saw Detroit City jump out to an early lead, a couple minutes in. Devin Amument's a header. Somehow only gave up one in the first half. Carlos Saldana, thank you. Adjustments made in the second half, and then Benjamin Morris, brace. Jaime, who admittedly
City legend.
Jaime, who admittedly said he was drunk at 4:00, so he was kind of quiet in the evening. So we gotta understand.
Was I drunk at 4:00?
Yeah,
yes.
It was like, wow.
You're so drunk you don't remember you were drunk at 4:00.
It was like quarter to 4 here, so maybe you were like after 4:30, closer to 5.
Okay.
I think
in that case, it's okay.
I probably started getting drunk at 4.
I think you dropped it in the sicko chat, not in ours, because I think I hit the B and then that thing fucking blew up and hit the board. Then a late goal, 3-2 win. So you get 2 wins in a row on Birmingham and Tampa, and you and you're in the top 4, and you got a home playoff spot, and you come back to Keyworth for the first time in almost 3 weeks, and you take out a Tulsa team. While in the playoffs in the West, they'd be like next to bottom in the East. What could go wrong? We lost 1-0 and played like absolute shit. I've already said, if you've checked out our recap post, if you saw anything for the written piece, I've said or even with Cat, which Adam then screenshot. I will give Adam credit on Twitter, taking the screenshot of me and Kat at our thing. It goes, "What the Amici's pizza boxes see in the media."
That was a weird angle to film at.
Dude, I'm not filming. That's sucking. That's Cat holding it in his hand while we're
No,
filming.
they would have had to like been squatting and like looking up.
Dude, he's got the lapel mics now too. He has this big iPad and lapel mics. I'm like, bro, I gotta learn how to fuck this fit. So yeah, that's that.
There you go.
That's the equivalent to what my bag of French fries see it. It's the cat zoomed in thing. So, but yeah, that was exciting. The match fucking wasn't. So I've had 3 outlets to complain about this match on. So I'm gonna sit back because I want to like get y'all's thoughts on it. Dennis, you get to lead off on this one. Talk about maybe joy that you felt Birmingham and Tampa, and then the opposite of that on Saturday.
I'm not gonna lie, okay, I haven't been totally tuned into the games recently because I, as many people know, because I never shut up about it, live in Chicago now, and summer in Chicago is very, very busy. So the Tampa game I was actually watching at the Cubs-Tigers game, which was, nice because
Trace Sweeney's first home run.
I didn't have to stress out so much about the comeback looking to be on. But I had it on in the stands there while the Tigers were, winning like 8-2. It was their only win against the Cubs, so I picked the right day to go. I mean, the Birmingham game was a little bit of I did watch that one. Was a little bit of squeaky bum time. We kind of controlled that one, I guess. More squeaky bum time was Tampa Bay, where they were all over us basically, and then we got out to the lead. Did concede again in injury time, which I don't love that trend this season. I don't love the trend of us conceding from not even quarters, like the second ball in from corners, which again popped its head up on Saturday. I don't know. The boys just seem tired right now. They seem really tired, and they seem like they're not honestly ready to kind of throw their bodies on the line in the same way they were in the first few games of the season, which, comes with usage, and it's probably why we're getting so many rotated teams right now too, which I don't love, but like we have in the past been guilty of saying we need to rotate the team more, and now that we're able to do it and are doing it, we're kind of doing the same thing in reverse. So I just, we're in a good spot. I think I shared it in the 451 group, and I shared it in another group recently that it seemed to help people. But to visualize, we're 4 points behind where we finished last season, and we still have 9 games left. And we already have 1 more goal than we scored all of last season. So while the ups and the downs are not perfect and they don't feel great, especially after the start that we had, which I feel like we all deep down knew we couldn't continue for the whole season. I just think that we clearly are an improved team. Unless we go goose eggs for the rest of the season, like there's no way we're not going to beat the point total. Last year we kind of backed into the playoffs. Like we barely made it in. I think we needed results from other teams, and right now the results from the other teams are helping us again. And it's not great to leave your faith in the hands of other teams, but like we're doing it a bit earlier this season, so that's an improvement too, I guess. We're not waiting for the last 2 or 3 results of the season to see, hey, can we actually make the playoffs? I think we're solidly in there, and we're battling for a home playoff, which honestly, based on what we continuously hear about our wage bill and like how we're the lowest wage bill in the league and whatever, like that's pretty good. That would be like, I guess Aston Villa last year. I hate comparing to other leagues, but like just to give a kind of example, it'd be like Aston Villa last year finishing in the Champions League places. Like it's a big thing that they're doing, even with this recent like turmoil. They're still looking good and looking like they could snag a home playoff, which would be kind of crazy because there's definitely 4 teams that would be considered better than us in this league. So if we're there or thereabouts with 4 or 5 of those teams, like that's a good improvement.
Yeah, great. Alan, how are you? How are you generally feeling after, like, we saw the great high on Wednesday, Saturday, maybe a bit of a reality check in rotation, and thankfully not as with Birmingham losing to Pittsburgh and Indy losing to Las Vegas, we're still in 4th.
Yeah, I mean, it really is ups and downs, highs and lows. It seems like it's a feature of USL Championship, and the results that weekend really show that everybody theoretically can beat everybody, and unfortunately, we were on the receiving end of the pointy stick, which is never fun. But who would have thought we would beat Tampa Bay?
Nobody on this podcast.
We wrote that off. Like, don't worry about that game. We're just whatever happens. The next few, focus on those. And it turns out we won the game we thought we were going to lose, and we lost the game we thought we were going to win. So, the lesson is, don't listen to anything we say ever about anything. So
we know nothing.
Yeah, we know nothing, see nothing, hear nothing. That's right. So the Tulsa match, I don't know. It's just like they worked so hard and got so little out of it. It was just frustrating to watch. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say. They did pick it up at the end. We did get to see Kisadu, the new guy, who I think that he's probably going to be a more prominent part of the lineup going forward. And hopefully that kind of unlocks this thing. It's always been a question, like, how do we need to put all these pieces together to, like, step 4 profit? And so I do agree with Dennis that we may have bent the stick too far the other way after our experience last year of pretty much a static lineup to the point where it was driving us crazy, to rearranging everything as much as possible to find the magical successful format. And I don't know if that works either. But how much of that is tactical and how much of that is forced on Danny and his coaching staff by circumstances, I don't know. I mean, it's probably a little bit of both. But I was not terribly worried about the Hartford game. Now I'm kind of worried about the Hartford game coming up. I don't think we really want to drop points in both of these games. And I was riding really high after the Tampa Bay game. I thought, no problem. And now I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Jaime, I was remembering now we recorded on Monday because Tuesday is when the club decided to go nuts with announcements. The first one was the Laurent Casiedu loan deal. Casiedu, while from Pardubice in the Czech First League, somebody that Detroit City fans will have known from the last 2 seasons. Casiedu, part of Memphis 901, and somebody that looks like a right footer that can play in that inside left role, dynamic enough. So that might be like, hey, here's the Ali Coot absence, a way to try this out. Somebody who's contributed for Memphis both under Ben Pierman and Stephen Glass. And then Nick Desovich was announced as the new first-team assistant later on in that afternoon. Somebody that's been a Canadian national player, somebody that's involved in the Toronto coaching, Vancouver Whitecaps. So somebody that I think
who posted the side-by-side of him and Dikia with, like, the long hair and, like, the...
Probably Adam.
I feel like someone did.
So, yeah, also those sideburns by Danny back then, gnarly. So
Legit.
I was thinking a little bit, and I was incredibly frustrated at the moment watching that game. It seemed like we were really trying to go to the right, get a ball in the box before Allen, as you mentioned, picking it up late. But then it's kind of seeing a little bit of highlights. Tulsa had a really good game plan. It seemed like Jaime, I know Aaron B moves with Tulsa this year, former Detroit City Loney, got the goal. But straight up 4-4-2 and straight up athletic forwards. I mean, what was your take on it from seeing Tulsa's game plan, who seemed to just like, here, have the ball, beat us, and we couldn't?
My thought was Aaron Bibu is possibly the most useless loan signing we've ever had. And then after doing nothing for 2 months in Detroit, he's come back.
I thought it was 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
That's all? It felt like so much longer.
Did we announce him after Phoenix?
So yeah, I mean, of course it would be him to score, and then we get another red card for St. Clair, and we can't really. I mean, we had it almost for 25 minutes, right? A man advantage, and we couldn't crack.
30 if you count Stoppo.
Sorry.
30 if you count Stoppo.
Yeah, I mean, so a good chunk of time, and so that's a little bit worrying. I don't know. Yeah, there's just days when there's just no creative juices flowing, and I mean, obviously, Tulsa, I think we're not overly adventurous. They're I think quite content to let us have the ball, but yeah, I mean, once you go up 11 against 10.
And chippy.
Yeah,
they were quite chippy.
I mean, another game like that, it seems to be like a trend lately.
If we can't, beat you in the play, we're just gonna like harass you to death.
Yeah, and slap you in the face, and so yeah, obviously disappointing, but still hanging out onto fourth, and I think we're 6 points clear of ninth place with a game in hand. So I think Dennis is right. We're not like going to back into it like we did last year. I think we've probably got a pretty solid grip on one of the playoff spots. And, still a month-ish, month and a half to go. So
2 months.
Yep.
It's almost
9
September.
games.
What do we finish in mid-October?
And the last weekend in October this year.
What? The last?
Yeah,
Halloween?
the final is until like Thanksgiving or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
They're stretching this damn thing out. So to lead you into, I think Alan, you guys, and Jaime, you guys talked about Hartford. So to give a rundown, going into this matchup here, which is the second matchup of Detroit City FC and Hartford Athletic this season. Detroit City started off this home season, their home matches, winning their first 3, looking good, really being confident. Since then, they've won 1, they've drawn 4, and they've lost 4 at home. They've only allowed 10 goals in 12 games, but they've scored only 12 and on there. So where it seems like on the road, they're playing a bit more simpler. Less is more, not having the ball as much, utilizing, whether it seems like recent pace on the wings. I think teams, you were saying there seems to be a good game plan when teams come to Keyworth. It is dull to play up physical, give a cede possession to us, and have us try to break us down. And in Hartford Athletic on Saturday, August 31st, Detroit City and them took first face each other on Wednesday, July 31st in Hartford. A game where Detroit City had the possession. They had a couple of offhand chances. But Hartford Athletic got the one in the match, the goal to decide it, and a couple of quality counterattack breaks using pace, forcing Nate Steinwasser to really extend full out to make some saves. Athletic themselves, like Detroit City, had a man advantage rather incredibly early in Saturday's matchup against Louisville. Louisville took the lead, but Hartford came back and won 2-1, their second 2-1 in a row. The first one was over Las Vegas Lights. The previous weekend ending their 11-game unbeaten run. Hartford currently hold the next to last spot in the East, but they are a couple of points away from getting into that playoff spot. So this game, Alan, as you've mentioned earlier, is now going to be pretty massive. 7 p.m. Saturday, August 31st. Knowing what you've seen, knowing about Hartford a little bit, and how you're feeling about us, like, what's your mindset going into it?
Yeah, I think there's some familiarity about them now. So I think we should be prepared. I don't know. It kind of depends on, how much rotation there is. I assume that Reese will be back. Again, it's like, is Kisadu going to be starting or no? I don't know. It's hard to say. So you can see my enthusiasm is through the roof for the game on Saturday.
I
think
it's,
Alan is guarding his heart. I think he doesn't want to be have it ripped out.
Yeah, I think the danger of seeing another performance like we saw versus Tulsa is present.
Yeah,
because if I was some of these other coaches, I'd say, wow, it doesn't seem like Detroit City can cope with the nuisance by if you annoy them enough, disrupts their game a lot. So,
All right. Jaime, what about you, man?
Well, I think it's clear that the Tab Ramos effect it casts a long shadow. Hartford are obviously terrible, and we should by right beat them. We'll see what team shows up at Keyworth on the weekend. Are we allowed to disclose this, Dennis, or do you want to make the announcement?
I was going to ask the question.
The announcement. Sorry, I'm doing a fantasy draft here as well.
Is it 22 rounds?
It is not 22 rounds, but for some reason these chodes are taking forever to make their picks, and we're only in round 2 or 3.
Oh God!
Round 3. Like, I don't understand how you don't know who you're picking in your first 3 rounds, boys. Anyway, yeah, I will be in attendance this Saturday without the fireworks that I planned because the Tampa Bay result kind of pushed that off. And when I sat down, I was actually one of the people that was freaking out about our current form until I actually talked myself out of it with the statistics that I shared earlier. So I was trying to come in with, a whole raft of Roman candles and shit. And I was like, I'm not going to be back here again this season, probably, unless we get a home playoff. So I can take a stadium ban, till the end of the season. I'll be the one to come and bring the noise and bring the fucking what the fuck he is doing out here. But I've talked myself down from that, so I will be there. I'll be in attendance.
Very responsible of you.
I don't know where we're going. I know some of the owners listen to this podcast too. So if any fireworks go off, it's not me.
He's a law-abiding American citizen now, so
I would assume,
right.
yeah. I can't get. Well, see, that's why I wouldn't mind doing the fireworks now because I can't be deported anymore. But yeah, I assume I'll be in attendance at Painted Lady or something before. I don't know. Pull up a chair, say hello. We'll talk about misery. If you're a United fan, I'll commiserate with you doubly. But yeah, that's my big announcement. I will be in attendance for this game, and I will be expecting nothing less than a win, lads.
3 points. He's coming for
or
the 3
else
points.
You're gonna have to fucking talk to me in the handshake line. And unlike the other friendly Irishman that's on your team, I won't be so friendly. All right, so.
So yeah,
Been warned.
I've now gone from before the game. I was like, this is a day off day. We're on season 2 now. Dennis is going, so
Garrett's been sucked
like,
right back in.
I'm halfway there, as Bon
Just
Jovi
when
would
I
say.
thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
So it's either that if I take September off instead. So we'll see how that goes. Big game. I want to see if City like you could tell. I think in that handshake line, the guys were pissed. One thing I will say though, Danny Dichio did talk when Brent Levi scored the winner in Birmingham about Levi seeming to take more of a leadership role in this team. After that match, there was Levi's are leading a run of few people running drills, like lap runs. James Murphy, Laurent Casiedu, Carlos Saldana, usually Matthews in that line with Levi's. If that's like, hey, we got to get this fucking done on there. So Elvis Amo, hopefully he's out of concussion protocol. Suffered while going airborne for a ball on Wednesday late in Tampa Bay, took an errant hand to the face. That hand busted him open, and he looked loopy coming off the pitch. So he obviously did not make the squad, either starting or bench on Saturday. Will he be fit for Hartford on Saturday? That will be massive. In particular on there. We had we had a Chicago Fire coach by us in media, kind of, if you saw a dude standing in the fence line on the West grandstand, scouting for Victor Petzera, probably to see how he's been doing on this loan. When you look into the fact that he was subbed at halftime, subbed at halftime in a rotation game.
I've been sat by his dad a couple times since he came on loan, and his dad is just a mess every game. He's just like pacing up and down the stand. Like he'll start at the top, kind of like nervous, like standing at the very top, and he'll like walk down and walk back up, walk down, walk back up. So I feel bad for Mr. Becerra.
His coach was doing like mannerisms, like loud, and I'll look, and then we chatted, and then thankfully he appreciated when we asked the question. I'm like, "You're scouting?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I see you guys, appreciate you." He was just like fire. He didn't. I think he left the bench at that area, so I think he's like, "Fuck, this is not good." Labor Day week.
What a terrible time for a job review.
Labor Day weekend. Start 7 p.m. Eastern, a little bit after. Saw something on the club's Insta them posting. So any one of our Detroit City folks that are, if they're not season ticket holders but are union members, I believe it's $5 tickets, something along those lines. Look into Den. Do you have the details on that?
That's if you're a union member, it's $5 in, and they advertised it today. So
yeah, I mean. Engineered through maze.
It's also Owners Appreciation Night. So if you're an owner and you haven't put in an email, go search in your email because you get a free ticket to bring someone. And they're also handing out the Women's Black Arrow Award at halftime. So go get your drink 5 minutes before the end of the half and come give Gabby some applause.
So I was going to ask you who you think was going to be winning it. There you go.
I don't really see how it would be anyone else, honestly. If it's a fan vote, it is.
Right.
I think the amount of talk there's been about how good she was this year, and the fact that she played the most minutes easily, that's what sticks out to people when they're voting. Especially when there's not a ton of votes, which I'm aware, or I have been told there usually isn't for the women's award. So y'all can get yourselves together on that too.
Yeah. Make yourselves available for that. Be there. See it. Cheer it. All of that fun jazz. I think we can also do a little teaser relating to women's stuff. We got a something special in the works. A dual 451 Majors Detroit end of season recap. What's ahead with Dave Dwahey and maybe some others. That's going to be coming down the pipeline, so folks be able to look forward to that. That'll be both on it'll be in audio form wherever you check out the podcast, and both on both 451 and the Majors TV YouTubes. So once we have that wrapped up, we'll drop it down for everybody to check that stuff out. So speaking of women, also shout out to Eliza Varon, who's been, not just working as leading performance drills for the women's side, but as of this month, leading performance drills for the men's side and matches as well. Really great to see, somebody that, is hardworking definition of the club and takes no shit, especially when it's from behind me. So, just kidding. So now we're getting into that. We talked all the football and stuff. Alan, you made a note on it earlier. You were at the owners' meeting tonight for Detroit, 6 p.m., a little bit of an earlier one. I had it on in the audio, though I feel like one or two people didn't have their things muted. So, you could hear that in the stream a little bit.
It was,
when they're
hey. It's typical. There was 2 or 3 different things going on at Brew Detroit, and okay, I'm not going to go into that.
Detail stories.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was, a lot of it was just kind of updates. There was a few items of note.
As of this afternoon, in fact.
I think probably the most significant one is, of course, we wanted an update on the stadium. That Sean, who was running the meeting solo. His other compatriots were off doing some other stuff. And, I think it would be okay to kind of go into this, but City has purchased another parcel as part of the stadium complex. It is the corner on the east side of 2nd Street or 2nd Ave or whatever it is. 20th. So 20th. And that corner that's closer to kind of Corktown. So, and a number of existing buildings that are on that parcel. So, I think the stadium land that was part of the stadium complex is in hand now. And a lot of the discussions that are going on currently with the city and others is the other property around our stadium. And some of those details are very TBA, but they look very interesting. This was not really part of the meeting, but discussions with Sean afterwards, which normally that's when you get the good stuff.
It's an exclusive.
Inside bits.
Yeah. Could be very interesting. So some stuff that's developments that are being done, not part of our project, but other projects. And it could really jazz up that area quite a bit. So one of the questions was asked about whether there be a training facility as part of this stadium development, and Sean kind of put a thumbs down to that, focusing on the stadium right now, and seems like with the amount of property they're getting, you could fit that in, but I think it's
phase two.
Phase two, he emphasized that whatever we do with the stadium design, he wants it to be feasible all along the process. That is, we're not going to throw out the maximum, wish list, and then come back and say, oh, well, we can only do half of that. So, of all the discussions that will be had in terms of getting supporter inputs, community input, however they want to organize that, the stuff that will be discussed will be within the capability of being done. So the all of the nitty gritty, like zoning and things like that, those are all underway. Uh, no renderings, though I think clearly there are some things behind the scenes. It's not a blank slate. So that was interesting. Discussions about next season have already begun, both internally and with the league. So just like it's the whole planning process, even though we're haven't even finished this season, people are already on to the next season, and that's just how you do it. So that was that's always good. Uh, the topic of resources came up, in both from Sean and questions from the owners. And it seems like that's not as big a constraint as it used to be. So, without getting into more details than that, but I don't think we're riding the bottom anymore in terms of the sporting budget. So that's good news.
Yeah, I was going to say Sean did.
And that would suggest because we have made acquisitions both on the player side and the staff side. So it seems like that is where much of the new revenue is going towards.
And I think also too, while Sean didn't quite confirm the training thing, he did acknowledge the current state of Keyworth's pitch, which I thought was, we can tell from there. The fact that he was able to admit that, which is not what it once was, but I think it'll be interesting to see. And he also talked about the Super League question. Obviously, the thing is not adding more games to how they use Keyworth, and you get that on a logistical sense completely on there.
Our time there is winding down, and the intent is to not add more; it's to transition. Right. So, unfortunately, that kind of is going to prevent us from moving forward on the pro women's team until the stadium is built. So that's the way it is.
Lanes from Sean, it seems like all anything to do with suppliers and sponsors, from kits to commercial sponsors, already done and wrapped up for next year, which seems to be as opposed to the early of just before the season when stuff is finalizing. That stuff's all done and pretty much wrapped up. U.S. league schedules for next season potentially as soon as December 1st. Yeah. So, and also for players that are out of contract at the end of the season, July 1 open the door where they can talk to prospective clubs. So whether that's who we have for us that's going, or who Trevor James and the team are looking to potentially bring in for next year, sounds like there's already some discussions in process on that. So I'm sure we'll find out some more bits whenever that is. I know they also talked about for ownership shareholders, the transition from WeFunder to Gorcon. Is that the proper name to? I forget, the Connex or whatever it's called.
Gorcon-X, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually just signed myself up today. So it actually seems like, from my own personal experience too, because I had a couple questions, because I didn't do it the first 2 links on time. So I had something requested and the authenticating link expired, but they're supporting already quick and responding personally. So I enjoy that more than what WeFunder was, but it's early days in the game. Still have to see. There's still a lot of things going on for all that, so everything in there. Essentially, yeah, that was kind of, I think, there. For owners meeting, I suppose now it's into speak the piece, closing thoughts. Den, you got anything?
No, I think I already said all my stuff tonight. He called me early with the Oasis stuff, and then I kind of shot me out too early about the fireworks and the yelling at the players. So let's just have a wonderful weekend, you guys.
Oh my God. Hi, me.
I've spent the summer becoming more zen. My lights just flashed there. I don't know if anybody caught that, but
I think I saw that.
It was right as the air conditioner went off too, so I thought we were in trouble. But that was about to test my zen as I was talking about it.
You don't have DTE over there, do you?
Sorry, Jaime. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I can't believe we've gone 58 minutes into this podcast without anyone bringing up the Del Taco bet.
Oh.
Because
the stakes are getting high.
It's still a live bet. It's not done yet.
No, I know. I don't believe me. I know it's not done. I thought someone.
Isn't it with Adam?
With Adam? No, I don't think I've got any wages with Adam currently.
Oh, the bet's you and Garrett. I thought it was Adam and Garrett.
Yeah, we went like double or nothing. Or no, just a secondary bet, or maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
probably.
think it's double or nothing. It's double or nothing. I think because I, if it happens, I get 2. If it doesn't happen, I get none. I think that's what it is.
I think that's what a double or nothing is.
Yeah, I think that's how we specified it. No. Shout out to our number 9. Actually getting into the penalty box for once, and
Ben unleashed.
It's magical what happens when you get in the box.
I wonder how he played at the golf thing yesterday.
I already had under 10. Is that? I don't know anything about golf. Is that how you say
10
it?
under?
10 under, yes, 10 under.
Wow. I wonder if he won on that.
Probably.
I don't know how the handicapping system works.
Got some sort of bludger, or what do you call those things? When you're like under the.
It's gonna be a new 451 podcast.
We're gonna
discuss golf.
I've heard people say they know nothing about golf before, but Jaime might be like the first person I've ever actually
never seen golf.
Yeah, I heard he used one of his long sticks and
the long.
I was talking about golf like I'm seeing cricket for the first time in a while.
He gave the puck a good wallop.
Okay. Jesus fucking Mary and Joseph. Jesus, yeah.
Where do you go from there?
I have a quick speak to piece. Someone just took Jake Bates, the Lions kicker, in the 8th round of this draft.
Oh my word!
The 8th round. He missed a field goal last week from 30 yards.
Wait, is this from people back in Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That tracks. I was like, why would anyone in Chicago take Jake Bates?
No, they're reaching for all the Lions players. It's crazy. Someone just took off. Oh my god. I'm losing my mind.
Was Bates the first kicker taken in that draft?
Yes, but someone took a defense like 5 picks before him. Also crazy.
That's wild.
I can't with these people.
Are they familiar with how football works?
Yeah, like they watch all the game. Well, I mean, they watch all Lions games, I guess. The jury's out, I guess.
Alan, what you got, bud?
To the contrary. Not really anything. Still thinking about the owners' meeting stuff, and I'm a little disappointed we're not further along. So this is like the second owners' meeting where we kind of covered the same ground in terms of the stadium stuff. TikTok, that's what I have to say. It's a short timeline to get it done in when they want it to be done, and as things just grind along here now, it's probably one of those things that you don't see anything and then you'll see a lot more, so the pace will change, but right. So it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do the focus groups. 450 people signed up to be part of those, and it's like, okay, let's do it. So that's my whatever.
shout out to John Sarge for guest co-hosting this owners meeting today, because I felt like I heard him almost as much as Sean Mann during the fucking thing.
I think everybody just must be emailing, texting Sarge their questions now because they know he'll ask them.
Yeah,
So,
he'll get right in there.
I think he's
become
part of an elaborate bit involving the more devious DCFC fans. I heard Rad also asked a question about if we had all
that
of
was a resource question.
All of the what?
It was the resources.
Yeah, if we had all of the technical support that we needed or something.
Yeah,
I was actually shocked there was a serious
if the technical
question
staff
by them.
had what they need. So, and the answer was, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
They're getting more. That was Sean's answers. They're getting more than anyone else. So
that's
kind
they're
of
getting more than they're willing to be in the
way
red
to
for.
answer without answering. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if that was just a weird off the ball question by Red, or something that was planted in him somewhere. See, this is
He's just getting ready to apply for the next job. So when they need a new video analyst, he's gonna get his resume out and.
We can
This is the
confirm that he
negative
forgot.
now with Red involved. We don't know what's going through his head anymore.
Exactly.
We can confirm because I think Red told Adam Red forgot to apply for the position.
Wait for the manager.
The assistant gig.
Oh.
He forgot to apply for it.
Okay, I thought you were telling us after all of his comedic shenanigans around the manager position that it turned out he didn't actually apply for it.
Be amazing if that actually happened. Shout out to all people checking out all of our content, whether it's 451 Tunnel Talk, whether it's recap stuff, tweets, everything in between. Y'all are real ones. Appreciate on that. Shout out to all of our buds, because Dennis, you're making me think about this now. Shout out to all of our sickos in fantasy football league season coming up. For the American football, that fun's going to be wild. It's going to be banter laden, and yeah, I hope I don't finish in last fucking place. So, the fun starts on that forward down. Huh? Yeah, it's a good goal, right?
Goal.
It's attainable.
Yeah.
Don't get. There's no relegation
Don't be last.
yet. Don't be last. Also forward down the fucking field in all the fields of life is what I say. Elephant and Co. Detroit.
I have to start my walk to Michigan now. So
yeah, I'm just about done. Last shout out, Elephant and Co. Detroit. You guys have been crushing it for match days and even seem to be doing some cool stuff for city stuff. So be on the lookout for some more stuff happening with them and the Sockers. Everyone checking this out, have a great holiday week. See y'all at Keyword for those who are attending. Dennis is home, so definitely go by and say hi. Win, lose, or draw city overall. We go onward. Fuck Hartford up Saturday, please. Good night.
Peace.
What you see, 'cause we'll be round a while. The rules on the scene. Wipe your feet when you creep through the gates of Key. We holding the crown. Many enter our grounds, but they get pounded down. Let's turn around. You enter through those gates, you face your fate now. Come take your shot. Many come, but they don't leave. They cleave to what we got.